resurrection, so that's all you get.
Another S and then you are EC. You are.
Can you tell?
Yeah. Resurrection is fun too.
Oh, let me see, I'm just gonna kind of come over.
Sorry, I'm an English teacher and we're in a school. It's really hard to turn it off.
Don't worry about it, we can't read that well anyway.
There we go.
Bestia, come on over, Fred.
Well, welcome. Y'all have armor at least, so I assume you fought it.
Never done it.
Been told my objective is to, like, kill the other guy? Is that correct?
We try to do that.
Alright, sweet.
With as much excessive force as possible, like we worked about the cafeteria, and now talk about it.
Well, I actually designed this outline with the idea for people who haven't had a lot of experience fighting in melees, to give you an idea of what to expect. So this may be at too low of a level. If it is, we can bring it up. Sir Randolph Lee has way more melee experience than anybody. My name is Captain Kubar of Holyhead, Baroness of the Court of Bronis and Rebecca. I am a captain of the Red Company. I fought as an unbelted champion. I have dragon's tooth. I'm only saying that because he doesn't. And I have a little bit of melee experience. So I'll talk about the most important thing that you need to know about melee. Just know what your victory conditions are. Is your victory condition last man? Is your victory condition to hold this point? Is your victory condition making sure that you run over and grab this flag and put your color up?
I was looking for you.
Know your victory conditions for every battle you go into. That is the first thing you have to know. There are generally two types of battles with regards to lives. We run to the last human, or we have resurrection battles. So generally, you have, with the last man standing battle, everybody goes out, you kill everybody, you get killed, you die, you go off, drink some nice water. Resurrection battles, I told you this was a very low level. The resurrection battle, you get killed, you go back, get some water, look at pretty women for a minute, then you have to go back and fight. There are some different types of resurrection battles. Some are limited res, so maybe you only get 2 reses. You're going to fight that with a little bit of a different mentality than you get to run out, kill people, come back, drink water, run back out, kill people, come back, drink water. Okay, but this all comes back to knowing your victory conditions. If your conditions are to have a lot of fun, you're young, you're in good shape, maybe running back and forth is a great deal. All right. For me, sometimes I want to sit here in the hay bale, I want to drink some more water, the women are pretty, okay, we're good here. In resurrection battles, as a captain, my biggest complaint are the folks who enjoy sitting on the hay bales looking at the beautiful women. If it's a resurrection battle, you go get your drink, because you need to stay hydrated, and you get your butt back on the field. If you're too tired to fight, that's okay. You stand in the 4th line with your sword and shield, and you watch. Because at any moment, that battle could shift, and you might magically find the energy to hop back into the fray. Where if you're sitting on the hay bale, you can't do jack for the kingdom or yourself. There is no glory to be gained with your butt on a hay bale. Howdy.
I mean, there's cookies, have one.
There's cookies. So far we've reviewed the 2 types of lives that you have, running to the last man or resurrection battles. Sometimes resurrection battles are timed with how long you have to stay in res. So everybody comes into res and they blow a whistle every 10 minutes. And then everybody who's in res gets to get up and go back out and fight. So these are just some of the different things that you would expect to see in a resurrection battle. Questions so far? Okay, well, obviously, the next thing we're gonna talk about is battle conditions, stagnant versus open. I'm gonna introduce these terms because I wanna make sure everybody understands what I'm talking about. Stagnant tend to be everybody in this line is looking at everybody in that line. Open is when we're all running around, hitting each other, there's no lines formed. When you have, even in an open field battle, you will end up with stagnant lines. I'm good at making stagnant lines. If I can make those people slow down, and I can, I'm projecting my chi, I'm shaking my spear, and there may be 5 or 10 or 20 of them. Oddly, the more there is, the more likely they are to stop when you do this. It's the SCA, for crying out loud. There's no glory to be gained by looking. All right? The glory is in running in and hitting people.
The Knights don't like you
No, it's the crowd mentality. You get one going and the rest of them crystallize.
anymore. The Meridian Knights trained all their fighters to stop when they stand in front of the seat. So it's a very good tactic.
You can definitely stop people.
The ones that weren't connected to the SCA, they're stuck in.
Good job.
Good idea.
In the resurrection battle, we often have a different type of battle ending. On a bridge battle, we're all here in the center, and the cannon goes off, or they yell hold, or blow the whistle. The battle is over, but the battle is not over, because they decide, now we're going to fight to the last man. Except, we're only going to let the people who are within 9 feet of the center of the bridge still fight. When you're doing a battle like that, it's a different mentality. Sorry, I walk around a lot.
No, it's fine. It's a wide angle lens.
Okay, so that there's a different mentality to the end of that battle. Another type of battle is that we'll have we'll have resurrection until the end of the battle, and then they go into last man standing. It's very important, especially if you want to win battles, to understand your victory conditions, to understand what the battle scenario is. I'm very bad, especially when I was young, I'm just here to fight. I'll know what we're doing, I'm gonna go over there and hit that guy. So that's what I'm doing, you know? But if you know your victory conditions, you can adjust your fighting to actually win. And winning is fun. We talked a little bit about stagnant and non-stagnant. So what are your victory conditions? In the last man battle, last man standing, just what it sounds like. You fight until everybody around you is dead. In a last man standing, your life is kind of precious. You don't want to die. But on the other hand, it's SCA. He dies. Don't die needlessly. Sometimes it's holding a position. You have a bridge. And this is my favorite story. It comes back to this. So you have a bridge. You're supposed to be holding the center. At which point do you push? This is where, having a time battle, you have to understand, at what time do I commit my troops? Do I commit too early? People get killed, it gives them time to bring reinforcements in. If I commit too late, I can't take the bridge. If they sweep the bridge, and they knock me on my butt, and they don't kill me, and they go to another bridge, guess what? That's my bridge now. Comes back to knowing your victory conditions. And let me tell you, Sir Elizabeth stood on that bridge. Actually, she kneeled on the bridge because she was legged, and they all went around her, and they were very pissed off at the end of the battle. Because it was her bridge. Raising flags. This is one of the victory conditions I hate. They'll have a pole, and they'll stick it between the hay bales, and they'll have some kind of pulley rope system with the one color flag on one side and one color flag on the other. And it doesn't matter if you get to the banner, it matters whether or not you raise the flag. Sometimes they'll have a pole with 2 different colors. You have to get your color up. So I know we get all excited, we're pushing, and we take that hay bale and we forget to flip the bale. Okay?
Or you don't need the flag. That happened, we lost a Bridget Lindsay because of it.
Here we go. Sometimes you have to turn over the hay bale. What are the things that we're coming up with?
Flipping the hay bale's kind of weird.
They have
Colored.
the cloth on it, see, it wasn't clear. They'll have a hay bale with 2 different colors of cloth, you know,
Red and
blue on
blue.
the top and red on the bottom. You have to flip the bale. And something important to know is that when you get killed, you don't want to kick the bale and knock it over to the wrong color. I mean, these are all silly things that if you've not seen it before, you have no idea what the victory conditions are. Perhaps one of my favorite types of battle is protect the king. And that is where somebody, His Majesty or someone is chosen as the person who has to live. Then what do? Do you run out there and fight? Do you stay defensive around this guy? Your tactics depend on what your victory conditions. I am almost done with my lectures. So what kind of battles can you expect to see? Oh, actually, I'm going to leave that up. This says stagnant. For those of you who can't read my handwriting. Non-stagnant, and mixed. The most simple and straightforward battle is the open field battle. Stagnant, non-stagnant, mixed. Which is it?
Stagnant, or at least it should be.
Okay. What does it end up being? It's mixed. You got a lot of people running around. You got a couple people trying to hold people off. You got a lot of people, where am I going? And you got a lot of people, oh, get out of here. What kind of fighter wins the open field battle?
Most aggressive.
Victory goes to the bold. In the SCA, SCA tactics are not real-world military tactics. We are not dying. I am not wasting lives. And there is nothing to be gained by being defensive. And I'm hoping some of our generals don't get to see this video because they're going to disagree with me. The whole idea of that there is an advantage at some times to be in reserve, so you have a reserve to respond to something.
Offensive.
The idea of sitting in reserve, to me, is a waste of troops. To me, you win battles by getting more stick on them than they have on you. It's my personal philosophy. I'm sure there are many generals who are going to disagree with that. So in the open field battle, you got a whole bunch of guys over there, and we got a whole bunch of guys over here. What are your goals? What's your goal in the open field battle?
To win.
Kill them all. There we go. How do you get more stick on them than they have on you?
Localized overmatch.
Does everybody know what he means by localized overmatch?
Surrounding them?
Hitting at the correct angles.
So they have a bunch of guys kind of clogged up here, and here's my guys. I don't want to hit them here. I want to hit them here. I want to hit where my guys can have more stick on them than they can have on me. Most importantly, in SCA battle, I want to hit them. I want to be going forward. I want my unit going forward. Donis is going to give a lovely lecture, I'm so sure, on the 5 commands you need to know. You need to know 3. Forward, forward left, and forward right. You gotta know which one's which. We actually use plan A and plan B, so I use one. In Stahlgeist we have 3 commands. in my opinion. Everything else is what you learn doing very small melee practices at practice. Yeah, 3 or 4 on 3 or 4, 5 on 5, to figure out how you need to hit those people and move them out. What else do we want to say about open fields? Probably one of the most important things in open field is going forward and preferably having more people with you than your opponent has against you. How do you do that? How do you get people to go with you and go forward?
Communicate beforehand, like, hey, I'm about to charge.
And training at home so that everyone knows to work together and stay together with the chosen commander.
Just charge off yelling, they'll follow you.
This man knows me. When I'm going out there and I'm at Penzing, I have no idea where anybody else is. I'm so narrow-minded, I'm gonna run down that king over there. And that king, my pole arm has his name right here on the thing. And I am just yelling, mid-room, mid-room, mid-room! And hopefully somebody hears me and joins me. You know that. So that's how I combine going forward with having more stick on them than they have on me. Now, if I completely run off, as I have done in the past, and I get lost, I disengage and I start looking for traditionally red tape or red and white tabards or tabards of friends, or sometimes tabards of enemies, because I have no trouble regrouping on the enemy. Now, if I can run from here to hit some household, and you can run from here and we can meet, we're together. And you're gonna meet me because I'm screaming, mid-room at the top of my lungs. And this poor guy's like, oh, it's Kope. I'm gonna go help her before she dies. So, any questions or comments on tactics for open field battle? We don't tend to do resurrection open field battles because that gets silly, yes. The next favorite battle is, of course, the bridge battle. Stagnant, non-stagnant, or mixed?
Stagnant as they come.
Tends to be as stagnant as they come.
See,
Might tend to make
I'm
bridges.
new and I watched a video and they stood there for a good 15 minutes before something actually happened.
Oh yeah, this is the first one to cross the bridge dies.
Well, it depends on, again, her different conditions, and what you need to hold and when you need to hold.
What types of bridge battles have you been in?
Res, non-res,
Res, non-res,
time.
time checks. Do you know what I mean by time checks? Everybody understand that? Sometimes your condition is to hold the center of the bridge, and they will do a time check every, whatever, 10 minutes maybe? Sometimes it's a random time check.
Every 15 minutes, plus or minus 8.
Yeah, I don't know who picks when it's randomly done.
That was Peter's random.
But the
What they do in the
idea
woods
is
battle
that-
this day.
I'm sorry?
Random time checks is what they do in the woods battle this day.
Yes, they do random time checks, so you have no idea when you should be pushing to take the center of that bridge on a random time check.
But then it basically becomes holding all the time, so it's a tactic all of its own.
Right. So when you're approaching a bridge battle, how you approach it really, really depends on what your victory conditions are. And you've got to look at your bridges. Here I have 3 bridges that are all the same width. Traditionally, I don't know, 14, 21 feet, whatever you've got room for where you're fighting. When I'm talking, I'm thinking more of larger wars like Lilies or border raids even, or Penzing. If you're in a scenario where one of these bridges is really small. I've been in Blackstone where they literally, this was 2 shield widths. This bridge was this wide. Now, how many troops do you commit to a 2-foot wide bridge? So you can take this, you've got 2 spearmen and 2 shields, and that's all you need for that particular bridge if they're the right shield and
Just one shield.
Wow. It was
It was a back shield, it was twice as big as him, so.
2 spears and a barn door.
Now, I fight in melees mostly with a spear. I am either one of 2 places usually. I'm either right here killing people, or I'm killed or tired, and then I come back here. When I'm back here, I'm watching. What's troop movement like over here? Are they almost ready to knock these guys out? Does this spearman need replaced? People will get out there and start fighting, and they're killing, and then they start to get tired. And then they start to stand on the front line, and their butts are taking up space on my front line. That's when sergeants and captains need to, dude, roll out, roll out. Smack them with the shield or the spear, get them to roll out. People don't want to leave the line if they're not dead. Well, you know, you're taking up room. In a stagnant, limited front battle, there's only so many spears I can get out here. If you're tired, back out. When you back out, I'm gonna get my pole arm. When you back out, do so in a way that doesn't screw your people. So I'm up here, I'm spearing. My shots, my targeting's starting to get off because I'm tired. I'm old. I don't go, all right, I'm out. Boom, take out all my shielding as I room back. No, you make sure your shieldman knows. Get me a spear up. Get me a spear up. Okay, I'm out. And then you get out. Hopefully by that time, somebody's fast enough and I'm loud enough that we can get another spearman in there to take that hole. Now if I'm standing there, and I'm not a really big guy, if I'm just standing there, I am taking up 2 to 4 feet worth of that limited front where nobody on my side